In the dead of night, in May 2022, a fire breaks out in cell 35 of the Mangaung Maximum Security Correctional Prison, or so the world was led to believe. Inside that cell, authorities found a charred body. The official narrative was simple. Thabo Bester, the infamous Facebook rapist, had committed suicide. South Africa breathed a collective sigh of relief. The man who had lured, raped, and murdered under the guise of a modeling scout was finally gone. Or was he? Because, as we would soon discover, what happened in cell 35 wasn't a suicide. It was the opening act of one of the most audacious prison breaks in history. To understand the escape, we must first understand the man. Thabo Bester wasn't just a criminal. He was a chameleon, a manipulator of the highest order. Before prison, he was the Facebook rapist. He used the allure of glamour and fame to trap aspiring models, turning their dreams into absolute nightmares. He possessed a terrifying charm. You have to wonder, what is it about such darkness that can mask itself as light so effectively? How did he fool so many for so long? In 2012, justice seemed to prevail. He was sentenced to life. He was locked away in a maximum security facility run by G4S. He should have been powerless. But Bester was anything but powerless behind bars. He didn't live like a prisoner. He lived like a CEO. Incredibly, from behind bars, he ran a media production company. He hosted video conferences with unwitting celebrities, wearing a suit, seemingly free while sitting inside a cell. How does a system fail so spectacularly to allow this? This was not a man serving time. This was a man biding his time, and he wasn't doing it alone. Enter Dr. Nandipa Magudumana, a celebrity aesthetics doctor, successful, beautiful, educated, a mother, the epitome of black excellence in South Africa. Why? This is the question that haunts this entire case. Why would a woman with everything to lose risk it all for a convicted rapist and murderer? Was it love? Was it manipulation? Or was it a shared delusion of grandeur? A Bonnie and Clyde fantasy played out in the age of Instagram. To get Thabo out of prison, Nandipa and Thabo began plotting. Not just a breakout, but a resurrection. Bester needed to die so he could be reborn. This brings us back to the fire. The body found in the cell wasn't Bester, it was Katlego Bareng, a man whose body was stolen to serve as a prop in their theater. Imagine the cold calculation required to source a corpse, smuggle it into a maximum security prison, and set it on fire. It chills the bone to think of such detachment. While the smoke cleared and the officials wrote "suicide" on their reports, Thabo Bester simply walked out. Wearing a G4S uniform, he strolled to freedom. He was gone. For months, he lived the high life in Johannesburg's wealthy suburbs, renting multi-million rand mansions in Hyde Park, driving luxury cars, living with the doctor who saved him. But the facade began to crack. It started with a photo. A shopper at Woolworth's noticed a man who looked suspiciously like the dead rapist. Journalists at Ground Up began digging. They pulled the autopsy reports. The DNA didn't match. The height was wrong. The hands were intact. The realization hit South Africa like a shockwave. Thabo Bester is alive, and he is with Dr. Nandipa. The couple fled, a desperate dash across the border, heading north. They abandoned the luxury for life on the run. They made it to Tanzania, Arusha. They tried to blend in, to disappear again, but the net was closing tighter. Interpol, the FBI, the South African police, the world was watching. And then, the capture. They were caught 10 kilometers from the Kenyan border. Their Bonnie and Clyde fantasy ended in the back of a police van. Let's rewind for a moment to the specific mechanics of the suicide and the escape. The sheer logistics of smuggling a dead body into a prison run by a global security giant. It wasn't just a body, it was a decoy. They needed someone who resembled Bester enough to fool a cursory glance, but burnt enough to prevent immediate identification. Think about the guards, the cameras, the locked doors. Money changed hands, lots of it. Corruption is the silent character in this story. While the body burned, Bester was likely already changing into his disguise. Heart-pounding? Or was he calm, knowing the script was written? Nandipa was waiting on the outside. The getaway driver, the doctor, the lover, the mastermind? That line is blurry. This wasn't just a criminal act, it was a betrayal of her oath. First, do no harm. She did the exact opposite. When news broke that Bester was spotted shopping, the public was confused. A ghost buying groceries? It sounded like an urban legend. But the photos didn't lie. The luxury watch, the sunglasses, the distinctive walk. It was him. The arrogance was his signature. It forces us to wonder, did they want to be caught? Or did they truly believe they were untouchable, above the law, above intelligence? The victims of the Facebook rapist had to relive their trauma. Seeing him alive, free, living in luxury, it was a second assault. This story exposes the fragility of justice. If a man like Bester can buy his freedom, who else is walking among us who shouldn't be? Dr. Nandipa's fall from grace is perhaps the most tragic. She had the world at her feet. Now she faces years in a cell. And Bester? He returned to the very system he mocked. But this time, the eyes of the world are the guards. His legacy will be studied by psychologists for years. The charm, the violence, the manipulation, the absolute lack of empathy. He reminds us that the most dangerous predators don't hide in the shadows. They hide in plain sight. They smile at us from magazine covers. The story of Thabo Bester and Nandipa Magudumana is a modern tragedy, a mix of Shakespearean hubris and true crime horror. How many others helped? The guards who looked away, the technicians who disabled cameras, the drivers. Bester didn't do this alone. Money. It opens doors that should be welded shut. It blinds eyes that should be watching. Nandipa's children. They lost their mother to this madness. She chose a murderer over them. That is a psychological puzzle we and they may never solve. Some say she was a victim too, manipulated by a master. Others say she was the architect, the Lady Macbeth of the story. Whatever the truth, they are now bound together, not in a mansion, but in the annals of criminal history. Thabo Bester wanted to be famous. He wanted to be a star. Well, he got his wish. But the spotlight is a cold, harsh interrogation lamp. He will likely die in prison. For real this time. No decoys, no fires, just time. And Nandipa? She will have a long time to wonder if it was all worth it. The glamour, the thrill, and the love. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the dark heart of the Bester case. It's a story we won't forget. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see more epic stories such as this. Until next time.